Good morning. So I've arrived here in Old Car City, USA, here in Georgia, and this looks like a pretty cool place. It's full of old cars, all the way back from the 1920s. There's even an Elvis Presley car here, the last car that he actually purchased before he passed away. Seeing a lot of cars right now from the 1950s in front of me, and this is really cool. I've heard a lot about this place and always wanted to come visit it. My plan right now is to try to shoot where I can have the light to my side or behind me, hopefully avoiding any light that's facing me. There's a lot of interesting vehicles here and opportunities, but light is the most important part of everything. I'm out here with the Sony A7R4 and the Sony A7 IV. Right now I'm using the R4 with the 24-105 lens attached, and I'm assuming eventually I'll take out the A7, depending if I want to work with 2 cameras and lenses. And this is a very forest light here, so hopefully I'll be shaded most of the time. What this looks like and what I'm walking through. Again, looking for a good light. I think I found some here. Using my tripod, closing the aperture down as much as I can. It's giving me slow shutter speed, but what I'm doing then is using the self timer to trigger the camera. I set it now for 10 seconds. I originally started with 2, but don't want to take any chances. I am using the A7R4 from Sony, and that can be an issue with such high megapixels if your camera's not very steady. So that's the big reason for using the timer. This is a pretty cool opportunity here. I like the cracked window and the fact you can see in the car. I think I'll get some shots here. The light's hopefully gonna light up that window a little bit. So I am bracketing the photos a little bit. My plan is to shoot raw this entire trip with the Sony cameras, as I am not familiar with the colors and how they're going to look, so I want to make sure that I have a file that I can work with when I get back home. So I am hiking around off the trail here, and main reason for that is, as I said at the beginning, I want to look for good light. So I'm trying to see cars that are lit nice and walk or hike to them so that I can get a good photograph. So that's why I'm off the trail, so hopefully I'll be able to find my way back to the trail. Here you're going to see in front of me what I'm talking about when it comes to light. So I'm chasing the light basically, and I found me a nice car here, a nice lit section. Let's see if there's a nice photo here to compose. Having a good time out here, and I just have to show you this one picture I'm taking. Spotted this car with a tree growing out of where the engine would be and coming through the grill of the car. Tag on the back says Pennsylvania 1976. That was the bicentennial year. Rear engine, not much of it left anymore. Pretty cool. This is must have been a fun vehicle back then. I remember seeing those as a kid. These are cars that I can actually remember from my childhood. Cars used to have so much detail back then. There's a Nova. And Novas are actually pretty cool to fix up and make them into hot rods. wonder what's special about these, that they have them under a cover. They seem in better shape than most. Even have all their tires on them actually. This place provides plenty of shade and interesting light opportunities. Looks like I'm in the Mustang area actually. There's a GT. Wow. My God, look at the size of that Mustang. And there's a peek at the competition, the Camaro. Look at this, Cutlass Supreme. I'll be darned. Don't know what year that is. Don't recognize it becoming part of the line. Monte Carlos. I remember those. Look at the size of this car. These are muscle cars back in the day. So it's a Ford GT, Ford Thunderbird. Looks like there'll be some trees growing out of it soon. Because of the vegetation, you can shoot here all day, I think. So it's pretty amazing. There's thousands of cars here. It could equal maybe millions of lives. There's that many cars here. All kinds of stories, dreams, joy, sorrow. Some of these cars have been crashed in accidents. So much of the history that's here is like some of these people have probably passed away already. Believe it or not, the light is just like there'll be spots of light. You know, I'll show you here for example. Like this car's got some light on it. I'd rather have that than just bathe in sunlight. So I think this is pretty cool because you can look for your spots. This must be pretty awesome if these are the type of trees that change color during the fall. It must be beautiful in here. Still shooting with a Sony A7R4 using the tripod. I did apply the polarizer filter now to the lens as I took a photo of a car that has some glare on the glass, and I wanted to go ahead and remove that. And I've gone ahead and just left the polarizer on there. Never brought out the 7A4, and I've just used the 24-105. It's been the perfect lens for here. So if you want just one lens for a trip like this to take photos in this place, I recommend the Sony or any other camera maker equivalent 24-105. So in front of me there's another car with a tree that has been there a long time. Grew out of where the engine would have been, and that tree goes way up and up and up and up. So one thing that I try to do with a lot of these pictures, I try to make sure I get down to the level of the vehicle. Most of my subjects I really like to be down to like eye level with them. I actually got a couple of different compositions from that angle. Found interesting the color on the tire, the yellow greenish color kind of makes the photo. Cool bus, reminds me of when I was a kid. And how many of you all remember this type of a handle to open the school bus door and let you in and out. Remember that there's multiple compositions to a subject that you're photographing. So I just have this bus here that's behind me now, and I've taken quite a few different compositions of it. Always remember that there's more than just that one shot that you saw initially. Another thing to remember when you're composing your photograph is to take your time, make sure you look all around. For example, with this bus right here, I noticed when I thought I had my composition ready to go, I noticed that the sun was hitting a tree trunk, and the tree trunk was going to be very overexposed, and it was definitely going to kill the photograph because your eyes were going to go to that. The time is 3:05. I'm working my way to what I hope is the front or the exit. I want to make sure I'm as close to the exit as possible so I don't get complicated here when it's closing time at 4 o'clock. Recommend this place for sure. I would definitely come early so you have all the time that you want to be creative. A macro lens would be something nice to bring too. I did get pretty close to a lot of the vehicles, emblems and logos and stuff like that that I wanted to go ahead and emphasize. But to be honest with you, you don't have to come out here with everything I brought. 24 to 105 is just perfect.